I am Vinnie Tortorich, folks. Your good intentions have been stolen, but don't worry. I'm here to help you get them back. You may be soft and succulent at the beginning of this process, but hang in there. Before long, you will be lean and mean, guaranteed. I will be passing through Tennessee, not Nashville, probably a little east of Nashville, and just to get home for Thanksgiving. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. So, yeah, I need to get there. We're going to talk a little bit about Thanksgiving today. You know, Anna and I covered it on Monday, but we're going to really cover it again because, man, I've been talking to a lot of people in the consults and everything else. And, you know, this is a holiday they really worry about. You know, there's a lot of emotions caught up in this holiday. And we're gonna talk about it just a little more because you can't talk too much about it. To help me do that is the Wednesday show, and he comes in every Wednesday, whether we want him to or not. I'm talking about the beautiful, that bald-headed bastard, Mr. Chris Shaffer. Yeah.
Don't be jealous.
I'm a little jealous. I'm still trying to. I keep a little hair on my head, but we all know it's bald and it's like I'm completely done. You know, no hair.
I just got lazy. So I have a trimmer. Why not just go at it?
Yeah.
Trying to find a time for somebody to cut my hair and dealing with all that. I got to do it eventually anyway. Might as well do it now.
Yeah, you know, sometimes like when I was going through chemo, some of my hair was falling out and the whole thing. So I kept it buzzed really close. So, you know, but my hair always comes back right after chemo, but I'm still bald. So it doesn't really matter. When you hit a certain age, you're heading straight to the grave. So it doesn't really matter. Just trying to get there. I want to skid in sideways and look pretty damn good while I'm doing it. Yeah, that's it.
I think one of the wisest pieces of information I ever got from my grandfather was you don't actually lose your hair as you get older. It just grows in different places.
Yeah.
Right? You get hairy ears, a hairy nose. Yeah. It goes in here and out here.
Yeah.
It does. It just moves.
There's some comedian used to do that joke. I thought I was losing my hair, but I found it. It was on my back.
I love it.
Yeah.
So you're headed to Louisiana. Well, I guess you're in Louisiana now. If people are
as we speak, I'm in Louisiana. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm going a day or two early because my parents are old. And, you know, when you get old, you live in the same house for all those years, 50 some odd years, you don't look around a whole lot. And I noticed that they can use some sprucing up around their house. And I'm getting together with maybe two of my brothers. We're going to bring a tractor, a couple of chainsaws. There's a couple of trees that have grown. You know, acorns will drop and then trees will grow. And they'll go, oh, yeah. And it's like, no. This doesn't look good. We need to spruce this up. And my parents, they'll go, oh, that's expensive. And it's like, okay, I'm coming home. I'm bringing equipment. My brother, Mark's father-in-law, is a farmer, so we can get a hold of tractors. My brother Mike has tractors, so we could go down there and clean it up and, you know, get a start on it. Is what I'm hoping. So that's going to be my holiday. But we're going to stop, Chris, and we're going to have the meal, you know, with the big turkey thing and the whole deal. Now, I know that you are away from your loved ones in the States and your loved one who's in Colombia. You're stuck in limbo known as Mexico, pretty much. What are you going to do? Are you going to celebrate? I mean, how does that work?
I think even the times that I've been in Colombia for Thanksgiving, here turkeys are everywhere, right? Like every grocery store has a turkey. I'll probably roast a chicken or something, you know.
Yeah.
Just do it that way. That's easier than dealing with the whole turkey and be done with it. I don't mind cooking Thanksgiving or eating Thanksgiving, but I'm not going to do that for myself.
Right.
If I have somebody to share it with, then I'll do it. Or if I'm going home for the holidays, then I'll do it. But otherwise, I'll probably just sleep and watch football. You know, I mean, that's 3/4 of Thanksgiving Day anyway, sleeping and watching football. So
Yeah. Look, there were a lot of years when I first moved to LA and I just didn't have the money to really, like, I didn't want to fly home. If I knew I was flying home for Christmas, like a couple of weeks later, I would just pretend the day didn't exist, right? I just didn't do anything. And all of my clients would say to me, "What are you doing for Thanksgiving? You want to come over here?" And, I tried that one year, and now you're with someone else's family, and they'll go, "So how do you know my Uncle Bob?" I'm a strainer. And then they're looking at Bob going, you invited the help for things. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, you only have to do that one time before you go, thanks, Bob. I love the sentiment, but your relatives didn't appreciate the hairy Italian guy showing up. Yeah.
yeah, they're cool with weird uncles, but not weird help. That's the
Yeah. It's like, the help is here. Yeah, my parents are famous for that. They invite, like everyone. My parents will find, broken toys and hurt puppies all over the street, meaning human beings, and they're there, right? That's been my parents my whole life. And you're sitting around, it's like everyone's kind of dressed and everything. It's a holiday and whole thing. And there's some dude there with camo, like, did he just come back from hunting, or is this his best outfit? He got it from Bass Pro Shop, and it's like, hey, so how you doing? I'm Vinnie, and I'm Bobby. And it's like, all right, Bobby, how do we know you? I don't know. I met your dad last week, and he said, why don't you come on by, Bobby? And I'm like, so you could be like a weird dude, and my little niece is right there. I don't know, Bobby. So like I'm telling my brother, hey, keep an eye on Bobby. He's probably a great guy, but nobody knows who this is. They were like that. They were just, it was the land of misfit toys.
it's when you have to run the serial killer test. All right, Bobby, what's your middle name and your last name?
Yeah. Is your middle
No,
name?
those are 3 first names.
Yeah. Yeah. You get something like Bobby Lee Collins, and the FBI is looking for your ass. Yeah. They all have
anybody that goes by 3 names automatically a serial killer or an assassin.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
absolutely. Chris, Thanksgiving. Let's get that out of the way before we get to any of the other technical stuff you want to talk about. Look, folks, I always say it doesn't matter what you eat between Christmas and New Year's. It only matters what you eat between New Year's and Christmas, meaning the bigger part of the year. And so that means whenever you get to a holiday, man, you want to knock it out. Knock it out. Now, I did consultations today. Today is just to give people an idea, today is the 21st. Thanksgiving is exactly on the 27th. So it's 6 days away from right now. I did 4 consultations today, Chris. What do you think I told those people?
Don't take leftovers home.
That was one of the things. Actually, I told 2 of them one thing and 2 of them something else.
The other one, if I had to guess, would be put some life into living and don't let it derail you starting on Black Friday.
That's what 2 people heard. 2 people heard, you want your stuffing, you want your great aunts, that casserole people make with the green beans and the fake shit. You want to have all that. I told 2 of them, do it. Do not take anything home unless it's just pure turkey. Do not take the dressing. Do not take the slop that you put on the turkey that's full of. Enjoy that meal. Enjoy your time there. Have the apple pie, the pumpkin pie, the pecan, whatever you have. Enjoy. I told 2 of them to do that. The other 2, I told them not to. So why would I tell 2 people to do one thing and 2 other people to do something completely different? Am I some kind of, as the Indians would say, fork tongue? Am I a two-faced bastard? Why would I do that? Well, two of these people are like the Tim Mallions and the Scott Kings and the Jen Mendicas. These are all people we've talked about on the show in the past. They've done this for a long time, right? They've done it. And their A1Cs are in check, their blood sugars in check, their blood pressures in check. You know, their triglycerides hang around 40 or 50 or whatever. They're doing great. They're now metabolically flexible. They have one crappy meal like that, it's not going to derail them. Now, it's very important for those people to cut it off. After you have all that fun, you got to stop. You got to forget about it. You're going to have a rough weekend, Black Friday, Monday, Tuesday. You're going to have a minute where you're thinking about it going, oh shit, I gotta really pull this together. The other two people are at the beginning of their journey. One guy started back in August. The other guy, the last guy I spoke to, what's his name? Corey. Corey wasn't the last guy I spoke to. I spoke to him this morning. He's going to hear his name and go, oh, there's not too many Corys. It must be me. He says he's recording this on the 21st. I called him. So anyway, Corey is just starting his journey, right? And I said, hey, look, you got this whole week. We're getting it together. You're pulling it together because his problem is the same as mine. He's a sugarholic. He tastes sugar and he's just FUCKED. He's just done. Right. So I said, look, dude, we got to get you to hold strong. Why do this for 7 days? And the whole conversation became, well, maybe we start 7 days around. I was like, no. You start now. You start now. You paid this money. You're on the phone with me. You've been thinking about this. You've been listening to me for 10 years. Today is when we're starting. You know, your fun meals are over with for a while. And I even said, do you guys get together for Christmas and the whole thing? Big fan. Oh yeah. Big family. Okay, great. Let's get to Christmas and then we can play around a little bit. Right. So it depends where you are in your journey as to what I'm going to tell you. That's why the consultations are so important, because I don't tell everyone the same thing. It depends where you are and what you're trying to do. Does that make sense, Chris?
It does. So, Vinny, if somebody's in that second group, right, they're just getting started, or they've started and stopped and are getting restarted, what's safe for them to eat? Like turkey, yeah. But are they just ignoring everything other than that?
For that meal, kind of. Now, we do a thing because, as you know, I'm gonna put a little life into living in the form of desserts. Unless my mom shows up with a stuffed artichoke, then, you know, my mom's days on the planet are way more numbered than mine and yours. And she loves to cook for us. She loves making a stuffed artichoke. It's an Italian delicacy. And if my mom shows up with that, that will be my big thing. I will enjoy that. Folks, it's a bunch of breadcrumbs and olive oil. That's basically what stuffed artichokes. And there's a lot of garlic and Parmigiana and ricotta, and it's just amazing. It's just crazy. If she makes that, that's going to be my splurge. But come Friday, because look, the football games are going to come on again on Friday. They got Black Friday football games, and that's what we do as a family, right? We're going to sit there and watch Black Friday football games. End of story. And the bottom line is, I'm going to have to get back on, get on my, as I call it, get on my skates, right? Get on my bike and start pedaling. I can't do it 2 days in a row, because guess what happens the next day? I'm driving back here, right? With all that inflammation, it doesn't feel good.
And you're going to have to stop 3 times as many times.
Yeah, to pee and to stretch my back out and everything else. So I'm going to do it on that day. And the other thing Serena and I do, we make, they make a turkey and everything. We brought rib roast last time, and that was a big hit. So think about that, folks. Just because turkey is the thing, maybe make yourself your favorite hamburger. Make a big giant fucking cheeseburger, or get yourself a steak that you like. Splurge a little bit on the steak, or what we do is we do a rib roast. We spend about $100 on a rib. Everyone loved it last time, right? So everyone was asking, "Are you going to do the rib roast again?" It's like, yes, we will. Yes, we will. We bought it here and packed it up on ice and everything, and brought it with us because we get it from, I think, Costco. They do a really good job of that, and it's cheaper than everywhere else. Yeah. So that's that. Chris, before we get into what you want to talk about, have I spoke to you about the Jasper company that I'm now advertising for a couple of weeks here?
Yeah, you and I talked about it when you first got it.
Yeah. Well, I had the guy back on my Friday show, Mike Felstein, and it kind of happened organically during the show. He was like, "Look, if any of you people want it right now, because the thing costs $1,200. It's $11.99, so let's just call it $1,200." And we were talking right before the show. He goes, "I'll give you people $300 off. If, I'll create a promo code for you after the show." I said, "Let's talk about it first, maybe." And I just organically mentioned it during the show, and I said, "Hey, folks, $300 off." And Mike did this into the camera. I said, "400?" He goes, "400. The best deal they have on his site for Black Friday is 300. The deal I have, and folks, you don't have to wait until tomorrow to go get it. You can go get it right now, right? You don't have to wait for Black Friday. If you go to jaspr.co/Vinnie, or you could put Vinnie at checkout or whatever, just make sure you spell it VINNIE, no wimpy Y. You will get $400 off. Let's see, 400 off of 1,200. Let's carry the one. That's a 30% deal right there, Chris.
Yeah.
Oh,
So that brings
30%.
it down to, what is that, $7.99?
Yeah, $7.99. Now you're gonna say, well, why do I need a Jasper? What is it? It's not an air purifier, it's an air scrubber. And mine was tested by a buddy who smoked a cigar down here in my basement. I told him to. I didn't think this thing. Now, I'll tell you, when he came down here, he didn't smoke the whole thing. That's the other thing. He didn't smoke the whole thing down here because Serena would have fucking divorced me. Right. But he came down and, blew some smoke down here. The Jasper immediately whirled up, right? Because there's a computer in there. It whirls up and it starts going crazy, right? And I went, okay, now this room smells like cigar smoke. And we went outside on the patio where we were before that. And he finished the cigar. We had a drink together and the whole thing. We were enjoying ourselves. I came back down here about an hour later, and it was undetectable that a cigar had been smoked in this office. The thing that got me excited about the Jasper was the impellers on my Concept 2. You have to clean them once a year, especially if you go use that thing as much as I do. And Chris, as you know, when we're having meetings, I'm usually sitting on that thing or my Echo bike or my spinner. And so I get about 1 million meters a year on that rowing machine. And when I took it down this year, I couldn't figure out why there was no dust on the impellers. Usually the dust is caked on there so hard with like this kind of oily base to it. I don't know how dust gets that effed up, that I would have to use one of those, rags, and not just any rag, but those kind of thick rags that you use to clean things. And it would take me a half a bottle of alcohol because I would have to get inside of each one of those impellers with the alcohol to try to get all of that, just gunge out of there. Right. This year I opened it up and I'm like, maybe I didn't row as much as I normally row. I came over to my computer and looked because Concept 2 keeps track. I was over 1 million meters and there was no dust in there. And I was like, what happened? Like, why? What's doing? Right. And while I'm thinking about it, I got back on my rowing machine after I put it together. And, let me just row half an hour, make sure I put everything back correctly. And I'm rowing and I'm going, why was this thing not all screwed up? And while I'm saying that, I'm looking directly at the Jasper. And that's when I got Mike Feldstein on the phone and said, dude, you're not going to believe this. And he goes, yeah, I'm telling you, it scrubs the air. Your lungs are you breathe all day, every day. Your lungs are the most important thing in the world. You bring in oxygen. Oxygen keeps you alive. Your body is set up to take in a certain amount of carcinogens, but why not just clean them out of the air and breathe fresh oxygen? Jasper, folks, JASPR.co, jasper.co/Vinnie. Go there right now and do yourself the favor of giving yourself great health. As a matter of fact, I'm getting a second Jasper put up in the bedroom. My house will have 2. Yep.
That's fancy.
Yeah.
You don't do, man, if that's not an endorsement for how good that product is, like, you don't have 2 of anything in that house other than a coffee maker. You know,
yeah, like 20 of those. Yeah, I got every
one in every room, including the bathroom, right?
Like, that's not a joke, actually. That's a true statement. I love coffee, man. I don't know what to say, but yeah, well, to be, look, I don't lie on this podcast. He's sending me another one for free. Right. So it's like, okay, because I was going to buy one. I didn't say that to him. I didn't go, hey, I'm going to buy one. No, I'll give you one for free. Before I can say I was buying one, because he gave me this one for free. He's like, man, yeah, I'm sending you another one. And that's kind of when I went, I got it. Yeah. This guy's too good.
Gotta let some people know. Yeah. Well, here's the thing, Vinny. You talk all the time about your results come from what goes into you. Right? Whether it's food or drink. And the one thing that we never talk about is air. But yet you breathe all day long, and it's just something we don't think about, right?
Yeah.
And all you're doing is breathing in whatever's around you. Your skin soaks it up, your lungs soak it up. And if you want to improve every part of your health, making sure that your air clean makes perfect sense to me, right? It's something that's coming into your system. And if it's not clean in the same way that your food is not clean, your body has to work a heck of a lot harder to get you to where you want to be. If you give it good food or good air and good water, your body knows what to do with that. And it makes your life and your health a heck of a lot easier to manage.
I'm looking for something right now, Chris. Oh, here it is. I found the song for the end of the show.
Air supply.
Do you have to ruin everything?
Just like 75% of things.
But you don't know which Air Supply song I'm going to play.
Oh, is it really Air Supply?
I went to an Air Supply concert at the Sanger Theater in New Orleans. My girlfriend, who was a 6 and 10 o'clock news anchor woman, used to get all kinds of stuff, and I guess she interviewed Air Supply. And she was like, hey, we got tickets to Air Supply. You don't want to go to that? I was like, yes, I do. She was like, really? I was like, yes. She goes, you want to go to Air Supply? Mr. Cowboy Boots and Wrangler shirt. Yes, I want to go to Air Supply. And we went.
I don't want to be all out of love. All right. Like, I can't let go. Here I am. Let's go see Air Supply.
Dude, they're going to have to cut this out of the video, but this is the song I have pulled up. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but this is all out of love. I'm going to do that much, and maybe they don't have to cut it out. We'll play the rest at the end of the show. Oh. Yeah. It's funny that it's the song that you came up with. Anyway, Chris, Thanksgiving, that's what you're making a chicken. I'm going to eat rib roast, and I'm going to stay pretty true. Yeah. I'm not going to sit there and eat all the crap. It's just not worth it for me. My family's not a big bunch of drinkers or anything. So Although my his wife is into wine. They got like the wine fridge and the whole thing. You
They're
know,
no Kristen Scott Thomas, but they're
no, they're not like Kristen and John. They got the good stuff. But yeah, I might have a glass of wine with my brother. I don't know, but it's not a big deal for me. That rib roast is going to cover me, right? So I'll be good. What else you got there, Chris?
you want to start with Vinnie being vindicated again? This is turning into, it's going to start to sound like Jeopardy. The new meat alternative?
No, I'm so sick of that.
Sunflower protein, by the way.
Nobody wants to hear how right I am all the time. What else you got?
So sunflower flour is the new meat alternative, and that's going to change the world because when you mix it with oil, Vinny, you can crumble it like ground beef. Okay. All kinds of studies are coming out in the Vinny vindication moment. High-fat diet is the secret to keeping your brain young.
Oh, really?
Who knew? Did you
Yeah.
know that eating high-fat, Vinny, could help decrease the risk or even reverse signs of early Alzheimer's?
I
Almost
knew
like
that
one of the
because
most
we're good
popular
friends.
episodes of this show.
Yeah. Dr. Mary Newport. You know, folks, you ever want to hear fascinating shows, go find all of the shows I've done with Dr. Mary Newport. You know, some of them are big on my YouTube channel, which nothing is big on my YouTube channel because I get censored over at YouTube. But yeah, go check out Mary Newport. As a matter of fact, I was leaving for the gym about an hour ago. You know, that's where I was right before this. And I made a double espresso. And I went, you know what? I haven't eaten since early this morning. I'm a little peckish. I just put a scoop of um, coconut oil right in there. Had a great workout. Now, folks, I got to be honest with you. Just sticking a scoop of coconut oil into a double espresso, you better have a stomach made out of steel, right? This is
Even
not
more
for
if
secret.
it's MCT.
Yeah, I don't use MC. I buy, I'm cheap. I just use coconut oil and it works better. You never fuck up your stomach. But yeah, I just downed that and had a great workout. Boom. I'm telling you, medium chain triglycerides is just an energy exchange in your body that you won't find anywhere else. Think about this, folks. I'm not selling you on anything because I don't make a dime. I'm not in cahoots with big coconut oil, right? I'm just telling you this. I've been doing this for a gazillion years. It works like a charm, right? So there.
Vinny, you mentioned rib roast.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out lean beef as part of a healthy diet
Yeah.
doesn't increase heart disease risk.
You don't say. Now, where have I heard this before? Oh, yeah, that's right. Nina Teicholz, who's been on this show a dozen times, who's been in my documentaries, who's my close friend, right? Nina Teicholz will tell you this. And she was the first one to look at those studies and go, wait a minute, the same studies that say meat is bad, if you actually read the studies, they're telling you that meat is good for you. But hey, let's not let the truth get in the way of a good lie. Why do that?
So they shoved a bunch of people on the Mediterranean diet and then gave them either half an ounce, which by the way, a half an ounce of beef is like a bite.
Yeah, it's like a little tiny cube, right?
One little tiny like Italian wedding soup, right? Like the meatball
Yeah.
you would get in that. Like that's half an ounce. But up to 2.5 ounces every single day did not increase the risk factors for cardiovascular disease.
And it never
Who
did.
knew? Who
It
knew?
never did. Look, folks, we need meat to live. We do a lot of talk about creatine. Guess where you get creatine from naturally? Meat and eggs. And your body makes it also. It's good to supplement with it. We're learning all kinds of stuff with supplementing with creatine. Meat has creatine, has
So
protein.
Vinny, I mentioned this to you the other day. You brought up creatine.
Uh-huh.
Creatine is so popular right now
Right.
that the companies that make the best form of creatine, the
Mm-hmm.
company,
Yeah.
is sold out until the middle of next year.
Now, folks, what that means is all the other companies that sell the product that's made by this company, they're sold out. You know, you can still get the stuff, but they can't make any more until, was it April, May?
They've basically sold all of the inventory they will make between now and either the end of March or the end of April.
Wow. Wow.
And you know where you can get it, Vinny? That rib roast.
Yeah.
Get it from meat.
Huh.
You don't have to worry about it. There's nothing wrong with supplementing with creatine.
Right.
But if you find yourself without creatine because it's just too popular right now, have a little bit more steak and see
Yeah.
what happens.
And by the way, folks, don't go, well, wait a minute. I can't afford rib roast. I can't either. That's why we have it once a year. But we can all afford ground beef. And there's good grade A ground beef you can get out there for little or nothing. Right? We can't afford not to eat that stuff if you want to be healthy.
Vinny, we've talked a lot about GLP-1s on this show. And even though they're a diabetes drug, the way most people use it is for weight loss.
Right.
The other side of that coin is muscle gain. We have heard forever
Right.
about the promise of an exercise in a pill.
Right. Where you don't have to do anything. You just take a pill and it'll give you the same effects as if you exercised.
Have you heard of azelaprag? Which, by the way, whoever the marketing people are at these pharmaceutical companies need a new job. You got to call it like Grow and Show or something, right? Like that name does no justice to what it purports to do. This is supposedly going to be the first exercise in a pill. And it's in final stages of clinical trials right now.
What's the name of it?
Azelaprag?
You know, the reason I asked you again is the guy, yeah, like one of the forefathers of anabolic steroids. I want to say his name was Ziegler. And you said azelaprag. His name was John Ziegler. There was another guy who came up with the first hormone. I want to say his name was a Dr. Goldman, but Ziegler was the first one to, or the early steroid that bodybuilders were using, late 1950s, early 1960s were, it was called Dianabol, right? That's what if you go back to the golden era of bodybuilding, that's what all those guys were using, Dianabol. And then other stuff came along after that. All of the other stuff. I don't know if you know this. Back in the 70s, if women gained a couple of pounds, because women have to be really thin in the 70s because you have to look good for your husband. That's what was pushed on television. Women would go get the weight loss shot from doctors, right? So I know I'm all over the place here, but the weight loss shot was basically, it was derived from the urine of a pregnant horse.
Yeah.
Right. That's where it came from. And it was just called the shot. Women would go get the shot. Oh, how'd you lose that 10 pounds? Got the shot. Right. And they were taking that. But so when you say azelaprag, I think of Ziegler because the Z is in there, right?
Okay, so you'll like this.
Go on.
John Ziegler, or Ziegler, right? Kind of the father of Dianabol. And
I'm going to do this, Chris. Was his middle name Bosworth or something like that? John
Bosley. Yeah.
Bosley. See, why am I not smarter than I am?
What's his other nickname? This is my favorite.
I don't know. I just knew that Dr. John Ziegler.
Montana Jack.
Montana Jack?
I don't know, but he grew up in Pennsylvania. His great-grandfather.
He was associated with York Barbell and all that somehow, right?
Yeah, just right up on 83, just north of York, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
His father, not his grandfather, discovered the salt tablet.
Oh, really? Huh.
So who knew?
They were like chemists from Eastern Bloc countries or something, right? I mean, if I remember right, they came up with all this stuff.
No, his family's from Pennsylvania. He went to Gettysburg University.
Right.
3 generations of American doctors. And then Vinnie went to Tulane.
Really?
For his 2-year residency in neurology.
Huh. Who knew?
Yeah. So it's you and Montana Jack are the 2 people that people know from Tulane.
Yeah. Yeah. You know who else went to Tulane? Newt Gingrich.
So Vinnie and Montana Jack.
And Newt Gingrich all went to Tulane.
I would not have guessed that one.
And you know who grew up right down the street from me? Or went to the same high school. We went to the same high school. He's much older than me. He's 80 now. The Raging Cajun.
Of course. Because there's 12 people in Louisiana.
Yeah. The Raging Cajun went to my high school. The guy who helped Clinton win the election.
So two people who couldn't be more diametrically opposed.
Yeah, Newt Gingrich went to the same college as me, and the guy that went to the same high school with me was James Carville. Yeah, go figure. I'm all over the road. People go, why aren't you into politics? It's like, look around, pal. Just look around.
So, Vinny, we have these GLP-1s, and now we have a Zelaprag, which is one of a bunch of things that are all going after this same idea.
How does it work, Chris? How does the Zelaprag, how are they saying it's working?
So it's a first-in-class oral activator of apelin. Basically, it's a pill that activates the apelin receptor or the APJ receptor, which is what's turned on when you exercise. Okay. So it's a receptor in your cell that tells your cell it needs to pull in the building blocks of muscle and help you build more muscle, right? That famous Doug McGuff, if you feel like you're fighting a lion thing, that's what it's doing.
Okay.
And it appears that it turns skeletal muscle up, increases fatty acid oxidation, and moves energy balance towards net calorie burn and net energy burn without adding movement. It also appears to be amplified, right? The original reason for this was for people in comas or for people who are bedridden to stop muscle loss, but taking it with exercise supposedly increases muscle gain, fat loss, all of the things that you get when you're active. Not knowing side effects, assuming the side effects are the same as
the side effects are going the side effects are going to be huge on this. I'm guaranteed. This ain't coming, folks. In the words of my good friend Dr. Drew Theodore Pensky, I have no idea what his middle name is. Actually, his middle name is Drew. I don't know what his first name is. Drew Pensky always says, he's a doctor. He's a medical doctor. Love him or hate him. There is no free lunch in nature. There is no free lunch. If you do this, there will be side effects. Sorry. Aspirin comes with side effects. Every drug comes with side effects. This is not the way you want to go through life, trying to lose weight with GLP-1s and trying to gain muscle with a Zelaprag. Did I say it correctly?
Right. Who knows?
Yeah, look, the bottom line is this will not be good. You can't just sit in your mother's basement for the rest of your life and You know, in the movie Animal House, Dean Wormer or whatever his name was said, you can't go through life dumb and stupid, right? That's pretty much the truth here. Don't go through life dumb and stupid. Now people are going, hey, I'm on GLP-1. You calling me dumb? You calling me stupid? No, I'm not. And if you're losing weight on it, I'm happy for you. Any way to get some of that weight off, knock yourself out. But here's the rub. You can't stay on it forever. And if you don't teach yourself something along the way, you're going to be fat again. And here's the other problem. There's people like my brother Mark, who is on the highest dose of the hardest one you could take, the Manjaro. He injects that in him like crazy. He eats right through it. So if you don't think you can eat right through this and still gain weight, think again. I have a brother that's doing that. And let's look at Scott King, who we were talking about earlier in this show, maybe. I can't remember. Scott King had his stomach cut out, right? He had gastric bypass surgery done. He went from like 300 pounds down to 200 pounds, something like that. And then when he got there, he shot back up to 600 pounds, right? This is what happens, folks. This is what happens. You can't, these drugs are not some kind of special savior. If you don't change your habits, and I hate to be the one because it makes me sound like an asshole. Vinnie, you don't have a weight problem. You don't have, I got my own problems. Here's the deal. If you don't change your ways, you're not going to change it. Nothing good's going to happen. If you want to be on those drugs for a while, God only knows what's going to happen with these drugs. But I guarantee you,
we have some side effects.
Oh, you do?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Look, let's go back to Dianabol. My first weightlifting coach, the reason I know what Dianabol is because that's what Joe Bonadonna used to take. He never saw his 60th birthday. My coach did not live to be my age. A man I love dearly, like I love my own parents, like I love my own brother. He was the one that said, we need to keep you off of this stuff. And he kept going, and my mom ran into him in a restaurant, my mom and dad, they grew up together. All of them. They ran into each other in the restaurant. 2 or 3 days later, Joe wasn't feeling good. He started turning yellow. He was jaundiced. They put him in the hospital. He was dead within a couple of days. I never even got to go home and visit. I got a call, Joe is dead. I still think about that. It still hits me. I can't believe he's gone. Right? And he was the man that told me, Vinnie, never start this stuff because you can't stop.
Well, liver issues are a huge problem with something like Dianabol.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's actually so this is the second round of testing for this azelaprag. Mm-hmm. The first round they stopped because they were a little concerned about the liver side effects.
Oh boy.
They ran all of the numbers and they found about 5% of subjects had short-term increase in liver enzymes. So it's not doing the same thing in your liver that Anabol was or Dianabol was. But there is something happening in your liver. The number one side effect, mild GI upset. Nausea, loose stool, or constipation. Not sure how that works, how you can have one or the other.
Right.
Temporary drop in resting blood pressure on dosage. So when you take it, and they're saying, look, it's not really a concern for people because the first thing that it does is create vasodilation. So that would be expected. When you have a vasodilator, you're going to have a small drop in blood pressure. It's one of the reasons, if you have heart problems, you're not supposed to take some of the ED medications, right? Because you have that drop in blood pressure. Let's see. No serious, and again, this is coming from them, no serious hypoglycemia or suicidal ideation, which is something that you get with the GLP-1 side of the equation. It looks to be safe for your liver, depending on the dose and the titration of it. They're suggesting that you split the dose and that you should be over-hydrating with it to avoid any of the other side effects. And immediately on the back end of that, Vinny, They start talking about taking it to compounding pharmaceuticals to bundle it with a GLP-1 to help you lose weight, retain muscle, and grow muscle all at the same time.
Okay. Or you could go to the fucking gym. You'll feel better about yourself. It gets your head straight. Chris knows what my day looks like. I go crazy, work. And at some point, what do I tell you, Chris? I got to go to the gym.
I got to go to the gym.
I need that massage. I need that mental massage. I need to get out of here. Sometimes I go, hey, Chris, I got to go. I'm going skating. Or I'll get on my rowing machine or my spinner. Or I'll go 5 minutes from my house and get in an actual rowboat. Now, I have that luxury because I work until 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. So I can take an hour and a half midday, go to the gym or go rowing or go skating, cycling, what have you. I have that luxury. That's the big. If you said, Vinny, you want that luxury of $1 billion? Well, I'll take the $1 billion. But, you know, a lot of money or that, I would take the luxury of being able to run your own life and be able to do things, because nothing makes you feel better than when you exercise. It clears your brain. This is not going to clear your brain, folks. Matter of fact, it's going to give you more side effects. People that take statins, almost everyone I talk to on the consultations on a daily basis. Oh my God, I was on a statin. You know, after hearing Dr. So-and-so in your podcast, I went to my doctor. They titrated me off of the statin. I feel good again. I don't have this pain, that pain, the other pain. Drugs are not the way, folks. You want to get off of drugs. You don't want to add another drug to the mix. And that's exactly what they're doing here. They're adding another drug to the mix. Don't let that happen. Don't let it happen.
And that's not to say that there's not a time and a place for these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm in a coma, hook me up with some azelaprag, right? Like if I'm gonna wake up from that coma and have lost all muscle function and not be able to walk ever again, by all means, right? But if you are healthy enough to get to a gym, you're going to be better off walking into the gym and, to quote Saturday Night Live, pick things up and put them down.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't have to be a world-ending workout, but even if this could mimic that, which it doesn't appear to, right? It has some benefit, but not all of the systemic benefits. It's not going to get rid of the stress or any of those kinds of things that you get through exercising. But even if it did, you still have to learn how to do the hard thing.
Yeah. No, Chris, you're absolutely right. Folks, this drug is going to come around soon enough. Don't fall for it. We'll just leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. It's the holiday, Chris. Let's cut it early today. You ready?
All right, let's do it. A little bit of
let's see. We talked about Jasper. Go check out jasper.co/Vinnie. Just go there. Go to the website and check it out. See what they have over there. I think you'll like it. They have a Black Friday sale. If you go with the Vinnie, the /Vinnie, it's a bigger deal than their own Black Friday special. We all go shopping on Amazon. Black Friday's coming up. Please think about us first, right? Go to VinnieTortorich.com, click through the banner. It puts a little coal on the fire, gets my train down the track. We're able to keep the show free for a gazillion years in a row. Pure Vitamin Club and Pure Coffee Club, all on the same website. We're doing a lot of great things over there, folks. Ever since I took that company over myself, Chris was telling me that the numbers are up big time. You know, I don't want to say what those numbers actually are, but we're shocked at how well the company is doing since I've taken it over. And it wasn't because I did anything special other than got rid of all of the clutter. And we see problems before they happen. We're able to fix them. We have great customer support. We have Jackie on the phone. We have Chris on the phone. We get back to people. People love that personal touch. So please keep keep doing what we're, keep going to purevitamin.club.com, purecoffeeclub.com. On behalf of Chris Shaffer, my name is Vinnie Tortorich. Put life into living, and let's do it with Air Supply